put it this way, we'll have a party at a funeral.
Yeah, exactly. We create our own entertainment.
Oh, that's right.
So it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a brotherhood and sisterhood, you know. And there's occasions, just like brothers and sisters, we're like,
we hate each other.
but that's pretty rare, actually, because we do have a lot of fun together. And no last names, right?
Katrina, we call her the supermodel because she's, you can't just look at her once without snapping your head back because she's striking and she's great fashion sense, a fun person to be around.
I should do mine like where it looks like it's a nipple.
Really high intellect and a great singer.
The one cool thing that I love about Band X is that every show's a different show. We literally, you know, we don't make set lists. So every song is even a surprise to us, and David just calls songs that are basically, you know, his reaction to what the crowd's doing and how their feedback.
And a really good stylist. She does a lot of our new modern stuff that you hear on the radio.
I'd probably say that I've just was always kind of the pop girl. You know, a lot of pop artists, things like, I don't know, the Madonnas, you know, Lady Gaga, stuff like that. I like a lot of pop music.
People just love to watch her. She's fantastic.
At one gig, I accidentally blew off Prince Albert of Monaco. I didn't know who he was.
That was kind of funny.
Well, he came up to me on a break and said, well, hello. And I was like, yeah, hi. And just kept walking. And it was the Kentucky Derby gig we did. And so I didn't know who he was. And so, you know, I just kind of blew him off. But at the end of the night, he gave me a glow-in-the-dark earring. That's what I got from Prince Albert.
Do you have it?
I still do. I have it in my makeup bag. It doesn't glow in the dark anymore.
You never told me that. Okay, you're weird.
I'll show it to you.
You're weird.
Every night is an adventure with us.
No, that's right.
Especially just us in the band. When we get to our private selves, it gets a bit raunchy and wild.
And you have Reggie Lopez. Now Reggie is really the choreographer of the band. He does all our Prince and our Minneapolis stuff, and he choreographs pretty much everything that we do with the group on the front line. And he's fantastic. He has a really good high falsetto, great star quality personality. People can't take their eyes off him. He's great. Don Lee, our drummer. Now, I'm a drummer and was a touring drummer for many, many years, so I'm extremely picky about drummers, and Don is absolutely a joy to work with.
Don is sort of like an anchor. That's right.
He's actually he's a high school music teacher, but he's been a touring drummer for years. He can read very, very well. He plays multiple instruments. But he's extremely solid, and we love working with him. He's a great guy. Tony Mckinney, our bass player, incredible lead vocalist.
So far, so good.
I mean, world-class singer. Had a band called Cool Joe, had a couple of records out, toured, played with B-52s, lots of bands out of Athens in the day. Really glad to have him in the band, and he's been with us for quite some time, and he's a great addition. Then you have Russell Lawyer. Now, Russell Lawyer is a fantastic lead guitar player.
My name is Russell Lawyer. I play guitar with Band X. I've been with the band, I guess, about 6 or 7 years.
He has performed in, he was in some of the big house bands here in town at some of the big country places, and they back up the artists when they come in and stuff like that. But his style isn't so much country, it's more like Eric Clapton, I'd say, and a little bit of Steely Dan influence. He knows all the chords, and he is just a great ear. I mean, he can pick up anything. The lovely and talented Cindy Shelton. Now, Cindy is a Nashville native, and she's been caught up in the Nashville scene for a while, has toured with some of the major acts out of Nashville as a backup singer. And she has incredible, perfect pitch, can sing all styles, rock, R&B, old Etta James.
I'm the rock chick of the band, and I like a lot of the 80s rock, and you know, I love a lot of pop too, and big band, and R&B, and Aretha Franklin, and Hart, and just a lot of people like that. So we're a good blend.
Yes, we are.
And she's just a joy.
One night in a hotel, I couldn't find my room, and I asked the maid. It was like 4 in the morning, and I asked a maid where it was, and she couldn't tell me for whatever reason, and she didn't understand me. She didn't speak English, and that's okay. And so I was a little rude, and yeah. And I'm not invited to that hotel anymore.
No.
And she's really funny, so we really enjoy working with her a lot. Then you have Steve McCrae on keyboards, and he's incredible keyboard player.
Personally, I think that the band is set up to do, you know, parties, events, all these huge, big, fun things. That's kind of what it's set up to do, because it's all just really good music from the 70s all the way to current stuff. You know, the band can just do almost any kind of music, but it's just real fun stuff. Everybody has a great time. The audience just goes crazy.
He's played with 38 Special, he's toured all over the world with Joan Baez, played with some of the best musicians. Al Cooper, famous producer out of New York, found his band in the early 70s and produced them, also with Leonard Skinner. So he's really been part of the southern rock scene in down here for quite some time. You have Dwayne Wyatt, and he's an incredible front man. Can perform rock to current hip hop. He's just really versatile.
Not to sound like a cliche, but we are like no other band you have ever seen.
He loves a variety of music, and he's not very stereotypical. He's real unusual, dresses really crazy, and is a great addition to the band. Well, you have Bobby Williams, who is the quintessential R&B saxophone player that really grew up playing the just gritty blues and rock and roll saxophone. And he's also a lead guitar player and band musical director.
I grew up in Chicago in a pretty rough neighborhood. I was a minority. I was like the only white guy in my neighborhood. But I grew up listening to soul music, and then I got into rock, and I really love all those things. Those are my big influences.
And he's got extensive background as far as performing and playing all over the world and country. My background, touring studio drummer from the olden days, where I worked with Billy Joe Royal, Sly Stone, Alicia Bridges, Paul Davis as a drummer, and then started becoming a sort of a nightclub entrepreneur and creating house bands. And we did that for almost 10 years straight, just performing shows on a weekly basis in Atlanta, in Ohio, and Orlando.
Okay, David is great because he calls songs and we don't have any idea. So literally every night is like, name that tune in 3 notes, because half the time we're like going, oh yeah, I sing this song.
Right.
Yeah, so that's fun. Yeah.
It is Stump the Band.
It is Stump the Band.
He actually makes us work.
Exactly. It makes you think.
That's so rude.
What was the question again?
Oh yeah, we are the epitome of what Band X is about.
That's right. They can't do nothing without us.
They can't do nothing without us.
You know.
Most people don't realize this, but I play the most important role in Band X as the guitarist and behind the scenes as well. This is pretty much, no one realizes this, but this is my band, and without me, this band would be nothing and go nowhere. Not to brag, but that's just the facts.
Between you and me, without me, this band wouldn't get far.
What would happen if they lost you?
There'd be silence.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
That kind of silence. I need a laugh.
I'm the one that keeps all these guys together. And they'll try to tell you something about something else. But 20 years I put up with all these guys. 20 years. 20. 2, 0, 20. It's a lot of time. So I show perseverance. Like, all of them are going to be dropping dead on the stage, and guess who's going to be still on stage rocking it for you? That would be me. That's the Trina girl, working it for you. That's what I'm saying. So it's me. I got it.
Cardboard cutouts, 20.
Man, these goobers wouldn't know how to act if I wasn't around. Jeez.
Yeah, we gotta get everybody doing this. That's great.
These goobers wouldn't have a chance. Come on, you talk about a rock.
Can you say goober on video?
Hey, you know, I love working with this band. They have just been so much fun to work with. And I think they really love working with me, too. And I just, you know, they're pretty good. I mean, they put on a pretty good show, and I've seen some old footage of them, but I think they really need me in this band. And you want to know why? Look at this. I mean, come on. Who'd pass this up, you know? I mean, come on. And I'm the singer in the band and the lead dancer, you know. I'm the leader. So, you know, we all work great together, and they need me. I like them, you know.
Personally, this band would be nothing without me. I run the whole show. I'm locking everything down. I'm keeping the songs going. These guys, forget it. Without me.
Yeah, it's most of the time if I'm not there, I mean, it just never starts, and then the endings just kind of flail around. So when I'm there, everything is like timed perfectly. The beginning, start, all the middle, and then the ends perfect. But if I'm not there, it's just they don't know what to do without me. So.
I'm the one that deals with all the egos in Band X. I write their paychecks, I tell them where to go, tell them what time to be there. If it wasn't for me, Band X couldn't function.
Okay, are we done? That was painful.
And now, Before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show.
My all-time favorite story is we were playing with Sly Stone in Fort Lauderdale, and we'd been there for 2 weeks. Sly had run up a $14,000 room service bill, and our manager had to pawn his Rolex. And we were already in Fort Myers to play the show, and Sly still hadn't left the hotel because the police, they wouldn't let him leave without paying his bill. So we're there, ready to do the show, acting like nothing's going wrong, and we know he hasn't even left Miami yet. So we start the first show, and we're playing, thinking that he's going to make it, but we start vamping. We keep vamping. And we eventually just start playing some of our own songs. And the whole first set, he doesn't show up. And the club owner, and the place is packed. And the club owner is like, what's going on? So we're freaked out. Finally, we hear he's got on a small plane and he's landing in time to make it for the second show. So we're on stage playing. We're vamping, waiting for Sly to come in. Boom, dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Finally, he comes in, whacked out of his head, carrying a little teeny broom about this big in his hand. And his eyes are like this big. So he comes up on stage and he starts playing the first song. Everybody's screaming. And he plays for like 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, he's gone. And he's in the dressing room, trying to get his mind right. Well, we're vamping. Finally, a keyboard player runs in there, makes him come back out, finish the show. We get through the night. Club owner says, great job. Good news is he made it. Bad news is you paid 50% up front, and I'm not paying you. So that night, we all got together in the room. Well, Sly made it back to the hotel, and he went to sleep or whatever. And we said, okay, that's it. We're done. We all get in a car, and we leave him. He doesn't know we're leaving, and we take off. So we make it back to Atlanta, and it was a great adventure. This had gone on for months, and it was one calamity after another. This was just one thing that happened. The next day, on Entertainment Tonight, Sly Stone busted in hotel room. And he's on there, all eyes like, what drugs? There weren't any drugs. So that's my story.